Gather around the campfire, my friends, and let me tell you a terrifying story that will send chills down your spine. In these very woods, there is a legend that has been told for generations. It is said that there was a group of settlers who came to this land many years ago seeking for a new home. They built a small community and lived off the land, but as the years went on, strange things began to happen. One by one, members of the community began to disappear without a trace. No one knew what was happening, and fear began to grip the hearts of the remaining settlers. They searched the woods for clues, but all they found were small piles of ash where the missing settlers had once stood. It wasn't until one moonless night, when the remaining settlers gathered around a campfire, that they heard a faint sound in the distance. It was a low, haunting sound that seemed to be getting closer with each passing moment. As the sound grew louder, the settlers realized that it was the sound of a horse's hooves striking the ground. But there was something strange about the sound, something that made their skin crawl. It was a repetitive sound, almost like a metronome, and never changed in tempo or intensity. The settlers listened in horror as the sound grew closer, and suddenly, out of the darkness, a figure appeared on horseback. The horse was black as night, and the figure atop it was shrouded in a cloak of the same dark color. The settlers watched in terror as the figure rode past them without so much as a glance. As the figure disappeared into the night, the sound of the horse's hooves continued on, fading into the distance. The settlers knew then that they had encountered the Black Rider, a legend that had been told in these woods for generations. They knew that the Black Rider was a harbinger of death, and that his repetitive sound signaled that he was getting closer to claiming his next victim. Legend has it that if the Black Rider touches you, you will be cursed to join him in his eternal search. You will become a lost soul, doomed to roam the woods alongside him, searching for something that you can never find. Those who have been touched by the Black Rider are said to be driven mad by the constant repetition of his haunting hooves, and their only escape being death in a pile of ash. From that night on, the remaining settlers lived in constant fear of the Black Rider. They would gather around their campfires and listen for the sound of the horse's hooves, praying they would not hear them getting closer. But one night, as they sat around their campfire, they heard the sound of the hooves once again. This time, it was even louder than before, and the settlers knew that the Black Rider was coming for them. As they huddled together in fear, they saw the figure on horseback emerge from the darkness. But this time, something was different. The Black Rider seemed to be searching for something, his head turning left and right as he rode past them. The settlers watched in confusion as the Black Rider continued on, his horse's hooves pounding the ground, that same repetitive sound. But as he disappeared into the night, the settlers realized that the sound of the hooves was coming from a different direction than before. They realized then that the Black Rider was not a harbinger of death, but a lost soul doomed to roam the woods for eternity, and his repetitive sound was not a signal of his approach, but a haunting reminder of the life he once had. From then on, the settlers no longer feared the Black Rider. They saw him as a tragic figure, lost in time and space, forever searching for something he could never find. But still, on quiet nights, when the wind whispers through the trees and the fire crackles in the darkness, the settlers can hear the sound of the Black Rider's horse's hooves, and they know that he is still out there, searching for something that he will never find. And should he touch you, you will join him in that search.